Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. Please.
Thank you.
So it's great to be back. Last year, we discussed how the pace of technology is becoming, everything is becoming more exponential, faster, and quicker, and bigger. So this year, I wanted to come back with a completely different assertion. And that is, unlike what all of us are in this room are convinced about, the future is not digital. Yes, you heard me right. And if you are surprised, I don't blame you. My husband, who's usually very supportive, laughed off this hypothesis as well. He works with Google, so he's biased. But the point being that it's possibly not digital. I'm an analyst, and I'm not making this up. Amazon is buying stores. Uber is buying car fleet. And Airbnb, which started with the idea of disrupting the hotel industry, is actually going and building hotels. And why go far? Like, look at Asean. DBS started a digital-only bank in India, and now it's going and acquiring a license to open branches. So all these trends indicate to us that possibly the future is not digital. And also, technology is not the end of it. Technology is the means to achieve an end, to solve a problem, to make our lives better, more meaningful, more worthwhile. And on that tone, I want to engage the panel today, and we are going to discuss how do we think the future is going to shape up. Krating, your company's vision talks about enabling customers to live their lives without limitations. That's a very profound statement. Please speak to that vision for us, and also, do you think the future is digital?
I think the future is definitely digital, but it's not all digital. So I think like the future is about hybrid model. So basically we are talking about like harmonized, like either online or offline, experiences to serve customer the best. So for example, when we launched the mobile banking application, we believe at first that eventually the branch will see no role in it in the picture of serving customer, and the transaction at the branch will go down, But actually it's not, it's just like relatively not going down at all, while the transaction and mobile application is kind of like exploding, but the transaction at the bank, just at the branch, basically just changes, So that's how we see it. It's like not only like omnichannel anymore, but basically to providing harmonized experiences enabled by by technology. For example, how can we make the branch officers to be empowered by technology, to be empowered by AI to know the customer better, So that's why we call it cognitive banking, and we call it it's not artificial intelligence, we call it augmented intelligence. The intelligence that and I think like yesterday, New Cross, he came to speak about corporate innovation as well, and he said for incumbent, it's not about going all digital, because if you go into the ocean, you'll be eaten alive by the digital shark, digital attacker. So you need to have an island, you have to have a physical asset, so that all those sharks cannot enter your land, So that's how you have to solve. The goal is all about solving customer problem, changing their life, whether online or offline, and in the future, it's actually gonna be so similar, it's gonna blend, and I think in the end, if you know your customer very well, solving their problems, and then using technology to empower your staff, that will be how you going to be that. And I think that's what I call hybrid model, harmonized the experiences and harmonized capability.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the point I'm talking about. I had a poll earlier in the session which showed that within the audience, people go to branches once in 6 months, whereas that possibly has a selection bias in the kind of audience we have here today. Let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, when the first time ATM was launched in 1983 in Thailand, 35 years hence, still branches are getting used as extensively for the same transactions that you could actually do with ATMs. So we can't really ignore the power of the physical infrastructure and the pace at which we go to. I'm sure Hannah is giving me the looks, so she definitely thinks digital is the only way to go. So Hannah, please, let's hear from you on that.
Yeah, definitely my view is the digital will be the future. If you look back, the history of human beings is what we are doing. Actually, we are trying to digitize everything. So starting with very beginning, we don't have photos. We don't know how to record our voice, videos, or this. And these days, we're actually trying to digitize every behavior and record it and measure it. But definitely, that's not the end of the world. Why we're doing this? So we want to improve the efficiency, and we want to actually make the people live a better life. So I think the digitization is not something scary. It's actually something you have to live with in future.
Can you share with us some of the work that your company is doing in terms of, how to make the financial ecosystem more efficient and the role of digital banks in that?
Yeah. So what we are doing, our company, Ping An OneConnect, is a fintech company. What we are doing in China now is, in China we have so many banks, small and medium banks. Currently, the system they're using are quite old. Some of the core banking system has been there for more than 20 years. So now the new to create customers came to the banks. They still need to submit a lot of hard copies. But we saw a new kind of a cutting-edge technology systems. They will be able to access to the financial services with one click, with one button. So that's what we are doing for those banks. And also doing this can improve the efficiency of the banks. So that's why they can provide a better service to more customers.
That's amazing. I think, Khun Kitty also has something similar you're doing from the SET lens as well, right? So what are the initiatives that the stock exchange is taking in terms of making investing easier, accessible, simpler?
Thank you very much, Diksha, for the question, and I fully agree and support the two speakers here. The SET has been expanding into other services. We are no longer just a stock exchange, but we are a capital market utility provider where we are just like a city planner, a city builder, where we would like to build expressway, highway, high-speed train, but that's for financial transactions. We're actually promoting back-end collaboration for all the connectivities, all the work that all the financial intermediaries are doing the same thing. We are making that redundancy gone. We are mutualizing that infrastructure, providing back-end collaboration, fully digitized, so that financial intermediaries can actually focus on front-end innovation. And that's where people would actually deliver the value. And that's where digital would assist the people to work better. So we have, for example, 3 years ago, we put in place a highway that connects the mutual fund distributors and the asset managers. In the past, it has been a spaghetti connectivities, many connections. We now put in place just one high-speed train. Then the selling agents can actually connect to this platform, and they can reach to all 20 asset managers here in Thailand and vice versa. And that actually open up new opportunities, and that makes our life of the intermediaries simple, and that also make wider choice for the retail investor countrywide.
That's a very interesting theme. If you notice the trend, the lines between financials, retail, infrastructure, technology are all blurring, and that's a very interesting development as well.
Actually, what we see is that we would like to make investment experience as easy as possible. For example, if you are a tourist coming to Thailand, if you just have one card, doing the same everything in Thailand, and then you leave the country, we would like to have that kind of experience. You come with one thing, for example, your smartphone. With that application, you can do everything fully digitized, and then you can actually focus on the things that make you fun. And this the thing that you get return from your investment. You get the best advice.
Yeah, I think the investors in this room definitely, that's music to their ears, right? And I mean, Hannah, I'm sure you'll vouch for this. Like, for a country as advanced as Hong Kong, doing the KYC for our SME client, can you imagine how long it takes? It takes 38 days to get just the KYC done. So, of course, there's like a lot of room to bring in technology to make things faster and more efficient. And some of it actually sounds almost unbelievable at the moment, right? So, I mean, these are great examples on how technology is making things more simpler, easier, faster. But how about, making it more inclusive? Does it really help to share the fruits of these with everyone? And I want to actually bring out a poll on that. I think I want to wake up the audience as well. Please bring out your phones and please vote on this question. Do you think the digital economy can be a vehicle for equal development? Does it help to reduce the rising inequality, which is one of the biggest problems that the world is facing right now? And we'll look at the results alongside. I mean, it's a fascinating issue, right? Because people who have access to technology continue to benefit more and more out of it, and those who don't could actually be marginalized even further, right? So, Kunketi, I'm going to put you on the spot on that. This is very central to the idea of the SET vision, right? Like, make it work for everyone.
Yes.
Exactly. So, there's a very strong inclusion vibe to that statement. Could you please, like, share more on that with us?
Maybe just it's not the dream, but it's actually a reality that we can make that happen in 1 or 2 years from now. Take, for example, the mutual fund distribution platform that I just mentioned. It actually reduced the lead time for the selling agent to take the mutual fund on board. In the past, it takes them more than 1 year to half a year to onboard one mutual fund companies. But now they can just plug and they can start up the business right away. We have a robo-advisory firm, we have insurance company, sign our contract, arrange for distribution agreement, and then they are set to go in like 1 or 2 days. We start with probably about 2 billion baht a month of trading value in mutual fund. In 2 years, we have seen that figure increase 200 times.
Wow.
So it's now about 400 billion baht.
That's really incredible.
Yeah. And for us to make the capital market work for everyone, imagine a world where we can turn waste into value. Waste,
yes.
That's gone, no zeros.
Yes.
But we think about those in need, 77 people here in Thailand.
Yeah.
Think about exchange, providing medicine to 77 million people through smartphone. Do you know?
Yes.
This is
I
actually
think, the whole tokenization problem, it's going well beyond just financials.
Yes.
You're actually able to provide medication to people in need by tokenizing
medicines.
Yes.
If you think about the problem in Thailand, that we have medical waste for, I think, about 5 billion baht a year, while the government subsidy also into that. Yes. But if we take medicines which are about to expire, like 6 months from now, we tokenize it.
Yes.
And then we offer that to those in need.
Yes.
And make it simple.
Yep.
People with mobile penetration, almost 60%.
Yeah. That actually brings a very good point. Like, access is not just about including the individuals. It's also for the startups who need funding to be able to find a platform to raise money easily, right? Yeah. So talking about startups, how can I ignore the godfather of the startup scene in Thailand? So Krating, talk to me about making it easier for companies to raise money, bringing down their cost of borrowing, their cost of capital. Like, how does technology and how does the KBTG group influence that?
So I think basically KBTG and KBank, we form a joint venture with Line, and Line has 43 million active users in Thailand. So basically, if we cut a child that is younger than 10 and older than 70, my mom is 72, she's very active online, So then we are talking about providing credit access and financial services, advisory on the platform that reach relatively every single one in Thailand. And also we invested $50 million in Grab, which is another super app. So there many people that don't have an access to credit will be getting instant access to credit, and they don't have to come to the branch. They can get easy access to credit every time. And I think I want to visit the question that you put, digital economy will it solve rising inequality? Based on my experiences investing in 70 startup, many startup in our portfolio change life of people at the bottom, driver, riders, and also a maid, and many small people, when they are connected to digital economy, they get 40% more income. Their life is much better. Their life is far better. And this year, probably 100,000 people that never had even an opportunity, their life will be changed by investing in those startups that change those lives. Give me a goosebump and also a smile every time.
That's so impressive. So if you notice, like 70% of people who are unbanked actually have access to mobile phones. Definitely not representative of the community in the room, but it really makes a huge difference for an economy, right? We're running out of time, so I really want to pull up the next poll. We've talked about the fruits of technology. I want to also bring out what are the challenges that the digital economy is bringing along, not just by itself, but also by the virtue of the fact that it actuates very quick change. So could you please vote on this question? What are your biggest concerns? What worries you the most as you traverse the digital economy? And while we are looking at the results on that, I actually wanted to ask you, Khun Kitty, privacy infringement. What are your views? Like China is one extreme, the West is another. Where is the balance?
I would say that with the technology that's happening today, data governance, data control will be actually given back to myself, to the ones I am me. So I control the wallet. I control who, when, what would I release to other people.
Okay.
So
data, and you get the rights of your data. Krating, do you agree with that view?
I think so too. Actually, like we walk the talk. Like KBTG, we just launched the initiative called Data Wallet, so that customer can consolidate all their data, and they are in control of their data, and they know which data that they give, they'll get benefit from it. You know, it's kind of like a clear trade-off. This is the information that I'm willing to give away, and it is what I think I get. So I think I'm staying in control of all my data. I think that's the key.
But I mean, if you look at the stats, Asia, there's a study by McKinsey that shows 62% of people in Asia don't really mind sharing personal information, whereas that number is a lot lower for the West, right? It's about 23% for the Western world. So, I mean, curbing the whole data sharing and being more laxed on, being more tight on privacy obviously curbs innovation. So any thoughts you'd like to share on that, Hannah? I mean, given that China has been a very different story. So if you can't access personal data, does that infringe on your ability to innovate?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about the data privacy in China. So actually, actually we have a lot of regulation around how can you use data, what kind of data you can connect. The only problem is the regulation for today may not be detailed as it should be. But there's more and more detailed regulation comes out. So that's why actually also the users these days, once we are trying to use more data, actually the users starting to aware the value of the data. They want to protect their own data. So I think it's not fair to say that China is on the other extreme. It's actually not the case. If you have business in China or you are running a bank in China, you definitely will not say so. Actually, we think the regulations actually sometimes is very stringent.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. So I think China has also been converging towards the West in terms of being more and more focused.
There's also contradicting. So because people saying, when we do the innovation, we need data. So actually, I think the data, there's a different type of data. So it depends on what kind of the data you are talking about. And also, with using the data, you need to get the authorization of the data owner. So I think that's the key point. Once you go to the authorization,
I think we get a consensus here, right? Like everyone says the user should own the data. So guys, the onus is on you, how you want to use your data. And can you use that to get more benefits, or you want to keep it for yourself? Can we just see the poll results, please, for what the audience has polled in terms of concerns so we can address some of that? Wow. Okay. Okay, nobody cares about banks not making money, clearly. Sorry,
No, I think it's because it's our question. We will still continue to be profitable. I think that's how I interpret it. Growth mindset, you know.
Okay, see the confidence from the banks. There is no problem, guys.
Just one final comment.
Sure.
Data privacy control, that kind of thing. We have to find the right balance, because privacy, and also if you think of a country, the world as a whole, there must be certain rules of the game to ensure that the world is orderly. Governance, compliance still needs to be there, because otherwise trust will be gone.
Yes, that's the regulator's word, guys. So it's very, very important to kind of drive that from a central, this thing. I'm completely with you, Khun Krating. Can I just pull through the last poll as well, which I want the audience's view on that too, which is around AI eliminating jobs. So the MAS actually issued a statement that 1 in 3 jobs in the financial industry is going to be changed very soon. Could you please give us your thoughts? Does technology make you feel more enabled in your job, or does it come across as a threat for your current roles? That's a very interesting take as well, right? See, I think nobody is clearly threatened by their job being taken down by AI. But given the pace at which things have changed, what do you guys think? Have we enabled our workforce? Have we prepared them very well to deal with this continuous change, right? Hannah, please share with us.
Yeah, actually, I'm very interested to see the result. No one actually thinks the technology is actually threatened. But in China, I heard this kind of a voice. To me, it's well, definitely some of the job will be threatened because it's a changing of the world. The technology is actually changing the game. So I think the key point is how can we train those people from their existing job to a new kind of form of a job using the new technologies. What we do is we actually have on-job training, and also we work with the universities. For example, we have a program called Gamma Star. We work with Wharton, so it's a business school, and together the professors, together with our scientists, together to train the people here.
So you offer those training programs to the financial
on-job
firms?
Training, so to help them.
Yeah, Krating, how are you preparing your workforce?
So basically, we are reskilling workforces as well. For example, we work with the many education tech startups, to help us reskill our workforces to transition into the future where all our workforces from top to bottom, has to be reskilled, and definitely we focus on both the technology literacy skill and also the soft skill. Soft skill is more difficult to train via via edtech, but the thing is that with edtech, it make it easier to reach people to reskill on the soft skill. And I think I think it's interesting. They said the most important skill in the disruption world actually it will be liberal art. They said. Yeah, it will be creativity, those kind of things, It's probably not programming or even blah, 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 So
I think that's pretty much the core of the whole idea, right? Technology is an enabler to make us feel more human, to be able to live better lives. I think we're pretty much running out of time, but thank you so much for your insights, and please, all the best to you guys to kind of keep using technology to make us more human. Thank you.
Right, thank you.